Have you ever felt like you're using 0% of your brain while parenting? Like you went from being a multitasking queen to a snack fetching robot? In this episode, we're digging into that mental whiplash with a former teacher turned stay at home mom who found a simple way to bring purpose and creativity back into her days with her toddler in tow. Welcome to Mom's Guide to Finding Herself, where we share stories of side hustles and surviving while parenting young children. I'm your host, Krissy Bold. Let's make motherhood less lonely and help you find joy in being you again. Let's be honest, most of us thought our background, our degrees, or just our sheer love of kids would somehow prepare us for motherhood. And then we had a baby, and we realized that nothing could have prepared us for this. Brittany is someone who lived that truth. She was a second and third grade teacher for 10 years, and now she's a stay-at-home mom with her daughter, creating simple, enriching activities and sharing them over Instagram at Teachers to Toddlers. This conversation isn't about having all the answers. It's about what happens when you start following little sparks of curiosity and creativity, and how those small shifts can add up to something that feels a lot like coming home to yourself. Thank you so much for joining me, Brittany.
Thank you for having me.
I'm
excited.
Yeah. No, I'm so excited to chat with you, hear your story. I mean, your content is all so relatable. I mean, it's all like really easy things that you can pull together in 0 time, which is what I need. And I think a lot of our listeners need. So thank you for putting that out into the world.
Thank you. I try to pull away from my teacher brain and put on mom brain on and be like, hey, what's easy? Like, what could I do that's easy here?
So. Right. I totally feel that. Yes. Teacher brain and mom brain are not the same and sometimes are competing a little bit. So tell me
a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Tell me about your background. Who were you before becoming a mom?
Yeah. So growing up, I knew I always wanted to be a teacher. I was the little girl who had her dolls lined up and made her own pretend worksheets. Like, teaching was what I wanted to do. So knew that from the get-go. Went to school for teaching. I got a job right out of college and then was just teaching ever since then for 10 years. Majority of my time, I did a lot of everything from kindergarten through 6th grade. But majority of my time was in 2nd grade. The last year I taught, I actually got to do my first combo class. So I did a 2-3 split. But it was fun because these were the kids that I had through COVID, like online. So we went through COVID together. And then the following year, they were going to be in 3rd grade. And that's when we went back to the classroom. So I actually got to have them in the classroom with me, plus new 2nd graders. So it was just kind of fun to have that moment with them to like go from online to teaching with them in the classroom. So we just had like a really special bond, which I feel like when I decided that I was going to be a stay-at-home mom was like just the great way to end on like such great relationships with these kids and their parents. And so I was really happy with my final year teaching and saying that it was time to move on to the next thing.
That's so sweet.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's definitely hard.
It's part of my life, teaching-wise. So yeah, it was a big move, but at the end of the day, as being a little kid, I also knew I always wanted to be a mom. And so sometimes, giving up my, teaching to do that is what I decided to do. It's been the best blessing. I'm truly grateful. I'm thankful to my husband for like allowing me and helping me, supporting me to do that. So it's awesome.
Right. Isn't it so great? It's wonderful. And I hear you on the mixed emotions. It's like there's part of you that you miss so much about just having your career and all the things outside of the relationships with the teaching. It's feeling productive, right? Like, there's not much in a day as a mom that you get to check off of the list. So
yeah, it's usually like going, like being productive. Like, I mean, as a teacher, your brain is just constantly going. I would work, I come home, I work. Like, my kids in my classroom are my life. And so to go from that to like having a baby who doesn't talk, it was just kind of like, kind of quiet. And like, I just felt like, your brain, you have to use your brain. Like, my brain like slowly or just transitioned very quickly to like bottles, nap time, and changing diapers. I was like, okay.
Yep. Are you like me where you then tried to become like a mini expert in pretty much everything?
Yeah, of course.
Right. Researching all the pieces because like as a teacher, you are an expert in everything that you're teaching. You're that lead. And then to go into something where you have nothing, you don't know what you're doing. It's like doing all the research and trying to figure out who you're gonna teach this to.
Exactly, yeah. It's funny, like, I look back and, like, I was the mom who, like, documented, like, "Oh, my daughter had 4 ounces of milk
Yeah.
at 12 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then she took, like, an hour and a half nap," and, like, now I just feel like if we were to ever have a second one, like, I don't think I would ever like, it just kinda goes out the window now. I'm like, "Oh, it
Right.
is what it is.
I know what you
We
mean.
survived."
Yes, you have the right mindset of, like, just embrace the chaos with the second one because that's all you can do. But, yeah, I was the
Yeah.
same way. I kinda was the same way with my second one, though, only because I was terrified of sleep because my first one was such a terrible sleeper.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we have our highs and lows too,
Yes.
so
I know,
and she was
nobody's
a really great
perfect.
sleeper. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, we had a strong, like, 6 months of very hard sleep. Like, I think I was up every night.
Yeah.
I don't even know what she wanted to have at that time. Like, we had a huge regression,
Yeah.
but it's okay. We're here now. Now we're
Right? We are here now.
slowly some days she sleeps through the night, some days she doesn't, and that's okay.
Yep. I hear you completely. Sleep, I feel like, is the most, like, controversial topic. Like, you can go on that all day. So, tell me how did you start your family? When did you know that you were ready to start trying, and how was that journey for you?
It was good. I guess I've always wanted to be a mom,
Yeah.
so I was definitely, like, ready before my
Yeah.
husband. He's my high school sweetheart, so we've known each other for a long time. So, yeah, it was time. And like, I mean, we went through COVID, so Juliet was born in 2022.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was, like, right, after COVID and everything, so it was just kind of, I think, time for us.
Yeah, so you were just
But
kinda
hope there
waiting
was, like, a
waiting for him to
it
be
was something
ready.
right. Yeah.
And
But
did you always know that you were going to wanna be a stay-at-home mom?
yeah, it was always my
Yeah.
dream, but I guess I feel very fortunate that my husband's work, like, has allowed me to be a stay-at-home mom. I know that it's, I guess just something I'm very grateful for. But yeah, I know that I can never get these years back with her, and as hard as it is, like, sometimes it's like, wow, I always thought teaching was hard.
Yeah.
Like, I was always very and I'm sure I mean, I guess just teaching is all I know, but work is hard, but, like, wow, being, like, stay out, like, I just never quit. Like, I'm just constantly going we are. But it's great. Like, at the end of the day, I remind myself, I'm not gonna get this time back ever with her being so little again, and so I'm just cherishing all these special moments right now together.
That's so
But
sweet. I always
but yeah.
my way thought of it was I my the best part of me is at the beginning of the day. So whoever has me at the beginning of the day is getting the best of me. And I just knew I wanted that to be my kids. I didn't want to be spending all that energy on other people's kids or other people's parents. And so that was kind of what it went into my decision to end up staying home when I was on my leave. Did you take a maternity leave or were you just done when you had your baby?
So, it actually worked out perfectly, and I didn't even plan this. It just, I guess, was in my favor and maybe a sign to be a stay-at-home mom. I came back from Christmas break, and I had, like, 3 weeks. I worked probably, like, a week until she was due just to keep me busy. I'm, like, one of those people, I have to be busy. I have a hard time kinda just sitting around. Otherwise, I'd probably just go crazy nesting at home. So, I worked until, like, the last little bit of time I could with my kids, and then with my maternity leave, it ended, like, the end of May or something or beginning of June, and we got out, like, June usually around, like, June 14th, like, is a sweet spot here
Sure.
in, California, and so anyways, I had sick leave and everything that I still needed to use, so I ended up using that, and then I went and said goodbye to them, obviously, just to say bye, end of the school year, but I wasn't working or anything, so it just kinda was, like, a great transition out. So, packed up my classroom, gave a lot of goodies to other teachers, so I was like, "Oh, if I'll go back into the classroom ever," so the only thing I saved were my books.
Right.
Which is, like, a huge I mean, as a teacher, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of money,
Yeah.
and so I saved all of those for our daughter and then just helped out other teachers with stuff I had because I don't need it.
Right, and what a gift, especially for teachers who are just starting out and have nothing. So that's really great
Yeah,
you were able to do that.
yeah. The person who she was in my classroom as, like, an intervention teacher, and so I was fortunate that, like, she was able to take my place as, like, a long-term,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
substitute teacher in there, and so her and I stayed in touch, like, throughout the whole thing, like, we just kinda ended up becoming friends, and so I would help her even, like, when I was at home, like, with some of the kids I knew and, like, helping her with things, and so it was just a great, like, transition, and then I just ended up giving her a lot of my stuff too, because they need it, so
Right, right, really sweet and great that
yeah.
you had somebody that was familiar with your classroom, like, that just puts your mind at ease knowing, like, that uncertain period where you're like, "Am I gonna go? When am I gonna come back tomorrow? Who knows?" That really helps to know that that person knows the kids, knows your routine,
Yeah.
can just step in a moment's notice, so that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome, so it was good. Everything was good.
Right. Wonderful. I love that your transition was so seamless with at least the professional end. So let's talk about your personal end of the transition to motherhood. What was that like
Mm,
for you?
it was it was good. I guess I have a little sister, I have nieces and nephews, so being a mom never, like, scared me. I guess, like, I kinda just was like, "Yep, I could do this, like, this is what I wanna do, like, I wanna be a mom," like so it just kinda came very natural to me. So, the whole transition was good. I guess, like, the hardest part was honestly just feeling like our family both of our families are 2 hours away, so, like, I think the hardest part is just being up here with just my husband and I like, we live in LA, so just being up here with just my husband and I and like a newborn baby was just it's I guess an adjustment. You don't really have like your parents coming over. And so
Right.
that was probably the hardest part, but we made it.
Yeah, that is tough. I mean, I had my first baby through COVID, so I can relate where it was just like there was nobody able to come and help out, and that it's a lot on your mental state where you're like, somebody's supposed to be doing my laundry right now.
Yeah.
Supposed to be helping me out in these ways. And
Yeah.
that's
But it's just right.
how long did you live
But yeah.
there before having your baby?
Oh, my husband and I have always been we've been in LA. I can't even remember when we moved up.
Okay.
Like he was up here, then I moved up here to be with him, and then that's, when everything's, we got
Yep.
engaged and married and everything. So
So do you
I
have
don't
a big
even know.
community of friends there?
It's growing
Yeah.
now that, like, my daughter, I take her to be involved in things because she doesn't go to school or, like, daycare or preschool or anything yet, so I take her to, like, gym classes and the library, and she just started dance class, so I've met a few moms through that whole process, so we slowly are doing, like, more play dates and everything, and I think it's helped too that now that our daughter, that first year, like, they're not very it's hard to make friends, like,
Right.
your baby can't talk, they
Mhm.
can't play, so the neighborhood that we live in, there's a lot of kids,
Oh,
like,
good.
our next door neighbor is across the street, there's just a bunch where, like,
Mhm.
in the summertime, it's great because all the kids just come out in the our courtyard and play.
You
So, now that my daughter can, like, run around and play, it's been very easy,
It really is
but
amazing how much easier it is to make friends and meet people when you have kids, even though it's, like, impossible to actually talk to those people when you're around them.
yeah, exactly,
You're just, like,
but
chasing and doing the count, and you don't actually get to know that person, but just having them around is more comforting.
yeah, exactly. They know what you're going through. I guess transition to momhood was good, but I think, like, after that first year is when I just kinda just started feeling like I need to use my brain again. I need to feel productive besides just, like, being a stay-at-home mom and cooking and cleaning and, doing all the mom things. It's like, "Okay, what can I do that, like, makes me feel like I'm using my brain more?"
I think that's so common, especially around, like, the 9 to 12-month mark, because you're
Mhm,
escaping that survival mode. You're getting out of it.
mhm,
You are now more of a person. You are showering regularly. You're getting a little more sleep. You're eating a little better, things like that. And then you wake up and you're like, who am I now? Because you aren't the person you were before. You don't have time for the things you were interested in before. And you might not even be interested in them anymore. And that can
mhm.
be really hard for a lot of parents. So tell me, what did you do to help fill that desire?
I guess I started my like, I didn't start my Instagram yet. I have, like, always wanted to start an Instagram if other parents are like their moms or, people are like this,
Okay.
but kinda like with your and I remember when we started your podcast, like, it was something that you always thought about and wanted to do, but just like, how do you take that leap and like put yourself out there and do it? And like, that was hard for me to kind of do. My husband, through COVID, saw me teach online like a lot. Like he never really knew how I was teaching. He never like came in the classroom and watched,
Yep.
obviously. So like him working from home and like me singing in songs and like being crazy on the computer, he was like, whoa. And then I just started to get very comfortable recording myself and it just kind of became normal. He's like, you should really like make videos. Like you should really do it. Like you're very good. Like go for it. And it was just that vulnerability piece for me that it's hard to it I guess putting yourself like on social media, it was a hard step or like jump to do. And then I finally took that jump. What was it? I guess almost a year from when this came out, but I started, I think like middle of March or April of 2024.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyways, he was coming home from work and I sent him a video and I'm like, I'm going to do it. And I just posted and I just did it. And it was just kind of like that, here we go. But yeah, something that you just keep thinking about that you want to do. And then I finally just was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Like, and just see where it goes.
Right.
He told me, my husband was like, what's the worst thing that can happen? And the worst thing is that you just have videos with your daughter.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? And I was like, you know what? You're right. At the end of the day, if I don't enjoy doing this anymore, or, if I want to stop, and at the end of the day, I have a bunch of videos of me teaching my daughter that I'm like, hey, look what we did. But yeah,
Yeah, that's such a cute keepsake to have and a good mindset. I feel the same way. It's like I'll keep doing this as long as I enjoy it and I do it for me. So all of the other things don't necessarily matter. I mean, of course, I want to see all the likes and all the people enjoying what I'm
I
posting, but at the end of the day, I'm posting it for me and for my satisfaction and to feel good about possibly helping others and getting that
yeah.
teaching aspect out of it. Do you feel a similar satisfaction with what you post as you do for teaching? Do you feel like a teacher?
I do. I feel like I get to use my brain again. I try to be like, okay, I've been working with my daughter. And then my husband's like, you know what? You do all this stuff with her. Like, you should post it. And so then again, we're like, okay, like maybe I should. I try to keep it simple. That's like my hardest part right now is like switching my teacher brain. And thankfully, my husband's like, Brady, that like, you have to realize that not all moms are going to do that. And so I'm trying to like put, like, how would I do this if I was a mom and saw it? So I try to make activities that are easy, things that you have around the house to do, but like are learning, keeps them moving, engaged. I guess it helps me feel like that teaching part is back, especially when people reach out to you through messaging, like, and they ask you questions about things. It's nice to just help people again.
It feels so good to be that part of you, and then it's so funny how it evolves to a different way, right? Like, you're still teaching your daughter and teaching the kids, but you're also teaching the parents, and
Yeah.
that's amazing too.
Yeah. This is what I do with my daughter because I get asked a lot if it's like a California thing, but like I get asked a lot of, are you sending her to preschool or is she going to daycare? And I guess I just really want to enjoy the time with her. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to work on it at home right now. And then, in maybe a year or two, I'll send her when, to get more of that. I think the biggest thing for me of sending her to school is getting her prepared for kindergarten by like, it's okay, I'm not there. Like you can go, half day to preschool and then I'll pick you up. Like it's okay to go do something by yourself, which is what we started with right now with like dance class. It's only 30 minutes, but she goes in there by herself. And so it's that kind of that like letting her guide herself in there. So yeah, I'm not like too worried about her academically, right? I mean, I want her to socialize. I want her to be okay, just all of that stuff before she actually has to go to school. So yeah, we just do little fun activities here and there and I record and it is what it is. Some are awesome,
Yeah.
some flop, and that's okay.
What you're doing for your daughter is awesome. You're meeting her where she's at. I'm sure you're reading her cues. Like, if you brought her to dance class and she was showing you that this is not something for her, you wouldn't keep going. So
Yep.
you're doing what she needs, and that's amazing to hear.
I feel like I don't know if it's a society thing of like pressure to go or why, but I
Yeah.
just enjoy having her at home and I even like socially, like people are like, well, what about like her, like, socially? And I know she's doing great socially. And part of it is like, but I get to like help her do, like, like I help her go to the park and talk, like talk to kids and get that experience and practice. And so, yeah, I sometimes it's like such a weird, touchy conversation.
I agree. The social piece is what I feel as well. Like people will say, "Well, what about the social? He's doing this, that, the other thing, but what about socially?" And there's so much to a social experience at that age. They're not necessarily yet interacting with peers. Like that's something that grows
Mhm.
as they grow up. So the modeling is so important on all of those things. You can get that through play dates. You can get that through going through the grocery store. You can get that in
Yeah.
so many different ways. And I'm sure parents feel the pressure if they are sending their kids to daycare or preschool that they might be doing something wrong. I think it's just pressure that we are
Yeah.
somehow not meeting the needs of these kids. And at the end of the day, we are the best parents for our kids, and we're going to do what's right for them and what feels good for our family. So, yeah,
Exactly.
it's really great you're doing that.
Yeah. Whatever works for anyone's family, like
Yep.
no pressure.
Yep. Exactly, exactly. So what is your favorite go-to easy activity that you use at home?
Favorite go-tos. Oh man. I feel like when she was little, like when she was like before 1, our go-tos were like the little people,
Uh-huh.
like the farm set and everything. Like that was awesome. That got her to like really learn how to speak too, like animal noises and everything. Like the little people, highly
Yeah.
recommend. Nowadays, where she's like, a toddler and doing all these activities, I think our go-to is puzzle flashcards where there's like a letter and then an animal or something. She loves doing activities with those. And so it's really helped her learn her alphabet, her, sounds, new animals or whatever is matching that
Oh,
letter. Like those are our go-tos. And then same with the wooden puzzle pieces, like a wooden alphabet and number pieces. Those are also our go-tos because I feel like you can do so much with them of putting them in a sensory
mhm.
bin, pulling them out. What letter did you pull out? What sound does it make? Like all of those. And then like same with numbers.
Great idea of having them just, like, with you, so that way you're on the go, you can make up a game. Like, my favorite thing to do is
Yeah.
to whatever we have, just make up a game with it, like, off the top of my head or ask them to make a game, and, having those kinds of things is great because, like, you just pick something out, and it can be the sound if it was an animal that you pulled, or it can be something else, like, let's talk about what color it is, like, whatever comes up in your
Yeah.
mind.
So many things. So yeah, those are our go-to. I love those. I don't know what they're called, like
Yeah.
puzzle pieces that match like the letter to the sound.
I
But
know
yeah,
what you're
those are,
talking about. I think, yeah, we can
yeah.
we can link them in the show notes too, so people can have a frame of reference if they're not so sure. So we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Do you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
I guess, like, my biggest takeaway, I guess, as being, like, a mom is just, like, trust your gut, do what's right. It's okay to get other, like, opinions on things and, be an advocate for your child. And then as, like, my Instagram account and, like, where I'm at with it today is just, like, if it's something that you want, whether it's social media or not, like what you want in your life is that you're like uncomfortable is just go for it. Just go for it. That's just what I did and I'm enjoying it. It's working out. But yeah, I guess just finally saying, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Go for it.
Yeah,
That's
break
my
out of your
advice.
comfort zone and give it a try. There's nothing
Yeah.
to
There really is nothing to lose.
Yeah, there really isn't, and for people who might be thinking about Instagram and starting something, do you have any tips for those people who are just starting out or who wanting to grow? Like, what are some things that you've done or you would say to yourself at the beginning, like, "I should do this differently?"
Yeah. I feel like at the beginning, I feel like building relationships. I met you through here and everything. What's helped my growth on Instagram and everything is having relationships with people that you meet online, like through your social media account. So engage with other accounts, like comment on them, like their stuff, like talk to them and just get that, like, I guess, social media engagement family or cluster, a group of friends together. So I guess that's kind of just like I wish I probably started sooner, like, when I started, like, I wasn't commenting or, really figuring out that whole piece, but I feel like that has truly helped my Instagram growth so far and just to keep going. So be consistent, stick with it. If it's something that like, is still bringing you joy and happiness, keep going. You're going to have hard weeks, you're going to have great weeks, but just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, especially on the social part too, is like social media is meant to be social and you're not just living in your own island posting things and letting it go. Like you're meant to engage, you're meant to communicate. And it's not just for the growth. I mean, it's community. I feel
Mhm.
like I've found a whole different part of me through talking to other people and finding my Instagram friends and all of that. I that's a huge takeaway for sure. If you're lonely in motherhood, social media can be that a part of that fix for you.
For sure. So it's awesome to see like the friendships that you can make from it.
Definitely. Well, tell everybody where they can find you and your amazing ideas.
But you can find me at Teacher to Toddlers on Instagram.
Go check out Brittany's page. She's got so many ideas and send her a message because she will definitely answer and would love to chat with you for sure. Imagine this. You go in for a routine checkup expecting to talk sleep schedules and maybe ask about cradle cap. And instead, you leave with your baby in a harness and a specialist referral. In the next episode, Brittany is coming back to share what it was like to navigate her daughter's unexpected hip dysplasia diagnosis, the emotional roller coaster of second opinions, surgery, and cast care, and how she found her footing again through it all. It's a raw, honest look at what happens when motherhood doesn't follow the script.